From the Daily Wire, DOJ tells 4 police fire departments that it's racist to expect employees to know basic math. Now, what do you think is happening here? Okay. Now, some of you are probably thinking, DEI strikes again. Perhaps. But I think there is something far more sinister at play here. Okay? just keep that in mind, okay? I don't know that this is DEI as much as this is a very, very disgruntled Joe Biden. The Biden-Harris department, you gotta know. The Biden-Harris administration, okay? That has never, ever been the case. It was never the Reagan and Bush administration. It was never the Clinton-Gore administration. It was always the top of the ticket. It's always the president's administration because everyone else is the subordinate. But this does carry weight. The Biden-Harris Department of Justice has undertaken a slew of lawsuits against local police and fire departments alleging that it is racist to require hires entrusted with public safety to know basic math. The lawsuits undermine Kamala Harris's attempt to brand herself as a moderate in the final weeks of the presidential campaign, with the suits both suggesting a dim view of blacks by the administration and employing the theory of desperate impact, the radical theory that holds that anytime there are statistical racial disparities, racism must be the cause, even if no one can explain how. On Friday, On Friday, the DOJ's Civil Rights Unit filed a lawsuit against South Bend, Indiana, saying, quote, South Bend uses a written examination that discriminates against black applicants and a physical fitness test that discriminates against female applicants. Now, hold on a minute. What in the world is going on here? Do you guys remember when Barack Hussein Obama came out and said, black people, particularly you black men, you brothers, you have to vote for her, no matter what. Sure, she's going to, increase inflation. Yes. And yes, we're on the cusp of World War III. That doesn't matter. You're black. You have to do your duty. You remember that? Well, they were doing that because, she's not getting real favor with enough black men. Now, that's key. Now, just imagine your DOJ just filed a lawsuit saying that black people, black men, can't do basic math. They can't do basic math. So imagine she's asked the question, Madam Vice President, your DOJ just filed lawsuits contending that basic math skills was racist. What say you, Madam Vice President? What is she supposed to say? Yes, it's true. It is racist. Well, if she says that, she's saying that too many black men can't do basic math. You can't say that and incur favor. Well, she could say, Merrick Garland is a lunatic and I don't know why he's doing this. That won't go well. See, she's between a rock and a rock. And my guess is they'll just completely ignore it. But this completely undermines all of her efforts to curry any favor with black men. When your DOJ is telling the world they're too dumb to do basic math. And I do mean basic math. I'm not talking about, you got to know, second collegiate calculus. No. I'm talking basic math. That was just one of the lawsuits, which claimed that tests are racist because blacks fail them at a higher percentage than whites and require cash awards to be paid to those blacks who failed them. Most blacks generally pass the tests, and the lawsuits do not explain how the tests can be racist against only some blacks. Blacks who pass the tests are excluded from the financial payouts. Get this. Last week, Durham, North Carolina settled with the DOJ saying blacks fail the test required to become a firefighter more often, and, quote, employers should identify and eliminate practices that have a desperate impact based on race. It said that the Durham Fire Department must pay nearly $1 million to people who failed the test and hire up to 16 of them. Not only have you have to pay them, you're going to hire them, even though they couldn't do basic math. Now, when I say basic, I do mean basic. Now, take a look at this. Firefighter test asked job candidates how many 60-foot hoses, the fire hoses, they would need to bring it to a fire that's 350 feet away. Did you hear the question? The question is really, really simple. Okay? A fire hose is 60 feet long. The fire is 350 feet away. How many 60-foot hoses will you need? Look, it's literally. They said that is racist. See, they're doing everything in their power to undermine Kamala candidacy, because how in the world is she going to gain favor with a group of people calling them too dumb to do that type of math? I'm sorry. It doesn't make any sense. Now, hold on a second. Some of you are still, I don't know, Stu. I don't know. According to the Daily Mail, how Joe Biden's fury at being overthrown by Kamala now threatens to derail his VP's candidacy. Hold on a second, because you got to know that this is the dynamic. President Joe Biden's relationship with his number two has soured ever since she replaced him at the top of the Democratic 2024 presidential ticket. Vice President Kamala Harris' team has experienced increased tension with Biden's staff. Nearly a dozen people familiar with the situation detailed to Axios in a new report. While aides say that Biden and his team want Harris to win in November, many have lingering bruises from the president being pushed out of his re-election bid. Quote, they're too much in their feelings. I don't know what the heck that means. A Harris ally said of the Biden's team. In recent weeks, the conflict has simmered to the public, where some actions have raised eyebrows over the tension between the president and his VP. Is that so? For example, Biden, for the first time, he's got 4 years to do this, but now, for the first time, made a surprise appearance in the White House press briefing room on Friday. At the same time, Harris was gearing up for a campaign event in Michigan. This ensured that the VP's event got less TV time and coverage than it would have otherwise. Even Republican former President Donald Trump sees the rift in the White House. Quote, he can't stand her for one simple reason. She overthrew him, Trump said. Now, here's the thing. Well, he kind of gets into it, but she didn't do it. The party did. He told Fox News it was really a coup. I mean, he's a very angry guy. I think he looks better now because now we're comparing him to her. Some Harris aides say the White House staffers are intentionally not working with Biden's messaging and schedule to align with what would best benefit the 2024 candidate's campaign, according to the Axios report. The White House is lacking someone, get this, the White House is lacking someone in the room thinking first and foremost about how things would affect the campaign, a person in Harris's campaign said. Last week, Harris expressed criticism, pay attention, of Florida Governor Ron DeSantis for refusing to take her calls about the hurricane relief efforts and slammed him for calling her outreach politically motivated, which it was completely politically motivated. What in the world are you going to add to this? What role does the VP play? None. But get this. She slammed Ron DeSantis for doing that. It's like, you got a governor. That's how dumb she is. You got a governor gearing up for one of these horrible, horrible hurricanes. The people under his watch are getting slammed and you criticize him? I mean, that just shows you how not very bright she is. Get this. Shortly after, Biden praised the Republican governor for being gracious and cooperative during their calls. Frustrating is also mounting as Harris's team seeks to handle a bigger workload, but the White House staff are dragging their feet on getting people hired. The White House official insisted to Axios, quote, "Everyone from the president on down knows how important the election is, and we always anticipated a number of staff would want to transition from the administration to the campaign for the final stretch." Biden faced a slew of pressure from his party to drop out of the re-election campaign after his disastrous debate between former President Donald Trump, blah, blah, blah. You already know about that. For about a month, the president pushed back on the pressure, claiming he intended to see it through to November, and that never happened. Just imagine. She's now trying to curry favor with black people, and the DOJ recently files a lawsuit saying black men can't do basic math. What is she supposed to do with that? I'm telling you. There is a civil war going on right now between Biden and Harris, and you gotta know Jill can't stand her. Jill Biden cannot stand Kamalama. And now Joe Biden can't stand her either. And his ire shouldn't be at her. It should be at the people that overthrew his candidacy, namely the donors and Nancy Pelosi. They're the ones who did it. I'm telling you, it may look like this may look like it's, DEI. It's not. Like I said, they've been doing these tests forever. You just now started to file lawsuits claiming that black men are getting impacted because, well, we can't do basic math. And I do mean basic. So you tell me what you think. I'm telling you right now, there is a hardcore civil war between the Biden administration and the Harris campaign. It's happening right now. And my guess is I mean, here's your biggest indicator. She gets in a feud with Ron DeSantis publicly, which was a huge mistake. Why she would do that is beyond me and mine. And when that reporter asked her about that, you know what a real smart person would have said? I believe Ron DeSantis is doing the absolute best he can do in giving the circumstances, and I'm here to help him if ever he reached out. That should have been it. That's what a smart person running for the presidency would have said. You wouldn't have blasted him for being political when he's trying to save the lives of his citizenry. But she's not very bright. Sorry, she's just not very bright. So so I'm telling you, there is a civil war. So Joe Biden comes out right after that and says, he's been very gracious. We've had great calls and we work together wonderfully. He's doing everything he can to undermine her candidacy because he is a bitter old man. All right, that's it for now. If you like this video, smash that like button and subscribe. And if you're following me on Rumble, please press that follow button. And until the next time, God bless.